Good evening. A High Court judge has said he's satisfied the sinking of a French fishing boat off the coast of Cornwall in 2004 was a fishing accident and not due to submarine involvement. The Bulletin sank within minutes of making a mayday call, with all 5 crew lost. Cathy Wardle has been following the case and sent this report from the Lizard.
Well, this inquest relates to only 2 of the crewmen, that's Pascal Lafloch and Yves-Marie Glouangeon, whose bodies were recovered to Cornwall. Now, their vessel sank within minutes without any eyewitnesses, and so there were lengthy investigations after the sinking to try and establish what happened and requests for further information, and that has delayed these inquests. Now, the families of the crew have always pushed for further investigation into whether another vessel or submarine was involved in the incident. Now, a French maritime investigation ruled that out. Today's inquest, we heard that 3 submarines had been active in the area at the time, but the nearest, the Dutch Dolphin, had been 11 nautical miles away. And Judge Lickley QC said he was satisfied that none were close to the Bulletin at the time she sank. In conclusion, he said that the trawl gear had become snagged on the seabed and that this was a fishing accident. He said the crew had not been able to put on life-saving equipment and had drowned. Well, earlier I spoke to a friend of the families of the crews who was involved in setting up a memorial here on the Lizard, and she said that this lengthy wait has taken its toll.
It goes back a long time because it was 2004 that this happened, and the families over there are having to deal with having no closure, to having lost 5 breadwinners from their families.
Well, some here on the Lizard still observe the anniversary of the sinking every year in January, and to finally have this conclusion that this was a fishing accident may give some closure after almost 18 years.
That was Cathy Wardle with that report. Next tonight, a Yorkshireman has been reunited with the lifeguards that saved his life in Cornwall in June. John Marshall was on holiday when he was caught in a rip tide on Morganporth Beach. Alex Ashen and Tori Farmer went to his rescue in extremely challenging conditions, backed up by their colleagues. The pair have been awarded bronze gallantry medals.
I don't think it really has settled in that, that our team saved someone's life. It's a fantastic achievement, and so pumped on our team for what we did, and to be recognised at receiving this medal is just an absolute honour.
Plymouth City Council is looking at ways to address both food poverty and food waste in the city. The pandemic has led to many families now regularly visiting food banks to help make ends meet. The council's report will focus on the best ways to collect and distribute food in Plymouth, while also addressing food insecurity for families and food waste for businesses. Somerset Council has announced there will be major changes to a number of schools near Crewkerne from next September. Misterton School will close altogether and Wadham School will become a secondary. Swanmead and Greenfield schools will be merged. Next tonight, filling vacancies in the TV and film industry could make our region an even more attractive destination for some of the world's biggest productions. That's according to the head of Netflix in the UK and Europe. Anna Mallett has told ITV News the South West is a creative powerhouse and could even be bigger if the next generation of talent can be found. Richard Payne reports.
Look at the locations in the top right corner of the screen and you get a sense of just how important the South West has become as a destination for some of the biggest shows on the planet. Its reputation has grown to such an extent, Netflix says in the last 2 years, its productions have brought benefits estimated at £132 million and helped to create 1,000 jobs.
Whether you're in post-production or visual effects or production management, whether you're in front of the camera or behind the camera, there's lots of opportunities, and we're working to really think about how we can bring more young people into the industry, because we're a creative industry and we're only as good as bringing in that next generation.
Some of whom were mixing with the industry's leading figures last night at a venue which once doubled as the Bridgerton Ballroom.
I think the biggest thing as graduates is we don't know who to talk to, where to go for opportunities.
I think the sort of sentiment at the minute actually is that we need you as the sort of vibe that we're getting.
It's just really encouraging to like see events like this where I can be like, oh, actually I can still promote myself like within my home turf, like rather than having to run to London.
Actor Joe Sims, who came to prominence for many in the ITV drama Broadchurch, says the big production companies must utilise the talent of the area they're working in.
Going into schools that maybe never had those opportunities and show them that those careers are possible, and those careers that they may not have even knew were a thing, like are going to be are there, and they're in that city and they're there for the taking.
A sentiment echoed by those benefiting from the arrival of Netflix in our region.
In terms of talent shortage, I think that's going to change. We have lots of good universities here who do film production or television production, so I think it's just making sure that, I suppose, that pipeline really gets pushed up and gets used within the local area.
The UK is the biggest production hub outside the US for Netflix, and the Southwest a key reason for that. And it's not only cash being generated for the area, they say, but a genuine chance at a career seemingly once out of reach, now within touching distance. Richard Payne, ITV News.
A 10-year-old girl from Plymouth has renamed the road she lives on Poppy Street to raise money for the Royal British Legion. Maisie Mead has been involved with the charity's Poppy Appeal since the age of 4. She was inspired by her dad after he was injured and medically discharged from the army. Marina Jenkins went to meet her.
Right, you keep that on there. I'll go round.
One poppy down, and there's many more to put up. Maisie Mead is transforming her road into Poppy Street.
Happy with that?
Yep.
Good stuff.
She's been a Poppy Appeal collector since 2018, and each year her creativity has grown, all inspired by her dad, who was medically discharged from the army 6 years ago after suffering life-changing back injuries.
It is really important that I do it for my dad, but it's also important that people remember and do not forget that those people who served, so we should not forget them. So I'll keep doing it until I reach my goal.
She's already raised £800 for the Royal British Legion. But the door knocking continues until she meets her target of £1,000.
Hi, Maisie.
Hi, I'm collecting for poppies. Do you have any money?
Oh, excellent, yes. Street's looking great.
Thank you.
On to the next neighbour.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
And this determination has been recognised by Prince Charles. Maisie, along with 9 other Poppy Appeal collectors, were invited for tea at Clarence House.
I was really intrigued of what I do for Poppy Street. Like, I put up poppies and windmills. It is really special to see him.
The Royal British Legion is celebrating its 100th year, and the team in Devon are so impressed with their 10-year-old fundraiser.
Maisie's passion is second to none. For her age, she is an incredible young person. She wants people to see a poppy. She wants them to go and buy a poppy. And it's really lovely to see the transition of how our fundraising has adapted to where we are now.
Poppy Street has become an important part of the community. It even has a remembrance garden, a safe place, Maisie says, for people to come and reflect.
A poppy means that it's a thank you letter for all the people who've served for us, so we write a thank you letter to them.
Maisie will keep collecting until Remembrance Sunday. To her, every poppy really does count. Marina Jenkins, ITV News.
Oh, great stuff. Well done to her. Right, it's weather time now. Charlie has your forecast.
Great Western Railway sponsors the ITV West Country weather.
Evening. Now, as we head into the weekend, we're going to pick up a bit more cloud in the sky yet again, some fairly strong winds as well. A bit of wet weather working through on Saturday, but it's not all doom and gloom. Sunday looks pretty decent, and neither day is going to be quite as chilly as it has been so far this week. Tonight included, because we got a mixture of some sort of patchy cloud, we got some outbreaks of patchy light rain and drizzle as well. The wind's also picking up by the end of the night. All in all, not the ingredients for a cold one, but will just about drop down to about 9 Celsius, I would have thought. It does also mean that Saturday is going to be a little bit of a troublesome day. You'll need your raincoat, I think, because not only will there be some outbreaks of further patchy light rain from time to time, there'll be bits of sunshine as well, but the winds are quite strong. You'll need that coat, I think, to just keep that wind out. Later on, a band of more persistent rain will arrive. But ahead of that, temperature's pretty high, 13 or 14 Celsius, although it might not feel quite that warm in those strong winds. And that front goes through, leaving us on Sunday with a pretty dry day. Still quite cloudy, still some fairly brisk winds. Internet's weak, a bit more of a mixed bag again. But one thing's for sure, it looks like it's going to turn quite mild, mid-teens during the early parts of next week.
Great Western Railway sponsors the ITV West Country weather.
Thanks very much, Charlie. That is it from the team here this Friday evening. Don't forget there's plenty more news on the website, and we're back tomorrow evening at 6:15. Until then, have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye for now.